Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. It is Julie here with your TipRanks pre-market morning update, where we're bringing you everything you need to know before the market opens. So let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back, and thank you all so much for being here. We are starting to ramp up into a very busy week for earnings reports, so make sure you head over to TipRanks TV to catch Fabio's after-hour market recap so you can stay up to date on all of the latest news and earnings. Of course, this morning we'll be taking a look at exciting stock market news, notable earnings reports, and the morning's biggest gainers and losers. So let's get right into it, starting off with exciting stock market news. U.S. stock futures are in the red this morning. Currently, Dow futures are down 0.33%, S&P 500 futures down 0.3%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.34%. As discussed in Fabio's after-hours market show last night, Twitter has accepted a $44 billion deal from Elon Musk to take the company private. Per the terms of the deal, Musk will pay $54.20 in cash for each share of Twitter common stock. The transaction has received Twitter board approval, but awaits shareholder approval and certain regulatory approvals. It is expected to close in 2022. Amid rising popularity and demand for Wi-Fi on airplanes, Hawaiian Airlines has inked a deal with Starlink. Starlink is the broadband unit of SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's satellite internet business. Through the deal, Hawaiian Airlines will become the first major airline to equip passengers with internet on flights between the islands and continental US, Asia, and Oceania. Hawaiian and Starlink are likely to start the installation of services next year. With just 3 current analyst ratings, the Hawaiian Airlines stock comes in as a moderate sell with an average downside of 18%. And the owners of department store JCPenney have offered to purchase Kohls for at least $8.6 billion. Canada-based Brookfield Asset Management and real estate investment trust Simon Property have proposed to pay $68 for each share of Kohls. The source said that bidders are planning to cut $1 billion in costs at Wisconsin-based Kohls over the next 3 years. Meanwhile, Canada-based luxury department store chain operator Hudson's Bay, as well as equity firms Sycamore Partners and Leonard Green & Partners, are also interested in acquiring Kohls. Their stock is currently rated a moderate buy with an average upside of over 8.5%. Now moving right along to notable earnings reports. We have a few big names that we'll be looking at this morning, and in the after hours we have a pretty big lineup, including Microsoft, Google, General Motors, Visa, Enphase Energy, Chipotle Mexican Grill, and QuantumScape. Already this morning, we heard from UPS, or United Parcel Service, who delivered solid results for their first quarter and for full-year guidance. UPS reported earnings per share of $3.05, coming in ahead of the expectations of $2.89. Revenue came in at $24.4 billion, ahead of the estimates of $23.8 billion. Analysts currently rate their stock a moderate buy with an average upside of 26%. Also coming in ahead of analyst expectations was Pepsi Co. They posted earnings of $1.29 per share, beating the estimates of $1.23. Revenue rose more than 9% to $16.2 billion, higher than the forecasts of $15.5 billion. They expect to see core earnings in 2022 of $6.63 per share, which would be a 6% increase year over year. Analysts currently rate the Pepsi stock a moderate buy with an average upside of 3%. We also heard from General Electric. They came out with better than expected earnings, but the stock is dropping slightly as they missed on free cash flow and had somewhat of a downbeat future outlook. GE reported adjusted earnings per share of 24 cents from $17 billion in sales. Analysts were projecting 8 cents on $16.9 billion in sales. Unadjusted earnings did come in as a loss of 74 cents. Looking forward, they're holding their outlook range for the full year, but said that they are trending towards the low end of the range. Analysts currently rate the stock a strong buy with an average upside of 26%. And last but certainly not least, we heard from 3M, who came out with better than expected sales and earnings for their first quarter. They reported adjusted earnings per share of $2.65, well ahead of the estimates of $2.32. This was on $8.8 billion in sales compared to the $8.7 billion in sales expected. Their guidance for 2022 remains unchanged. Analysts currently rate the 3M stock a moderate sell with a slight upside of 6.7%. So let's take a look at which stocks are this morning's biggest gainers and losers. Our biggest gainers this morning are led by Corning after their Q1 earnings this morning. Under the ticker GLW, the stock is currently up over 9%. They're followed by OI Glass under the ticker OI. They're up 8%, also following their Q1 earnings. And Sherwin-Williams Company under the ticker SHW, they're up nearly 6% after, you guessed it, their Q1 earnings report. Our biggest losers this morning are led by the Universal Health stock. They're falling after reporting mixed results for their first quarter. Under the ticker UHS, the stock is down 12%. They're followed by Polaris under the ticker PII. Their stock is down over 8% following their earnings report. And Banco Santander under the ticker SAN, they're down nearly 7% following their first quarter earnings. So I think that is going to be the theme of this week, seeing stocks move following their earnings. And that is going to be everything for Tuesday's pre-market morning update, getting you up to speed with what you need to know before that opening bell. Make sure you head over to TipRanks TV to catch Fabio's after-hour market recap so you can stay up to date on what's gone on throughout the day and some of those after-hours earnings too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you back here next time.